And Russia has also now issued a statement after the Canadian Parliament and the authorities felicitated a Nazi war veteran. The statement is a long one. I'm going to read some excerpts from it. I'm quoting from what the statement says. It is surprising how Canada, a member of the anti-Hitler coalition, can openly and without any hesitation glorify Nazi butchers. This is a slap in the face of the true Canadian heroes who fought for liberation of Europe from the Nazis together with their Russian and Soviet brother in arms. Unfortunately, it no longer is surprising that Canada voted against the resolution on combating the glorification of Nazism adopted by the UN General Assembly in December 2022. So that's the statement that in fact is coming in from Russia. Our colleague Abhishek is also now joining us on the broadcast. Abhishek, as I was discussing with Siddhant also, Justin Trudeau continues to face flack, criticism, not just from domestic quarters, but internationally as well. A strong worded statement that in fact has now come in from Russia have gone on to say that all the work that has been done in the past is being completely undone with acts like these.
Of course, and what Justin Trudeau has tried to link, the entire embarrassment of his government in the parliament when he and his parliamentary colleagues, they felicitated and applauded the role of the Nazi soldiers in the House of, the House of Commons. On the contrast, he's trying to link Russian invasion in Ukraine with that, and that is very, very weird because Russia had nothing to do with that soldiers being felicitated and applauded and appreciated in the House, in the floor of the House. Justin Trudeau is trying to divert the mistakes of government, the problems in his government, and the entire blame that his office should probably take in not vetting enough and not knowing enough about soldiers, of his past, of his involvement in Nazi rules and his fight alongside the Nazi Germany.
We'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for bringing us all those details. Let's take a look at some reactions coming in.
My first question to you, there is this whole demand about a Khalistan in Canada. Can you take us through the details of what the demands are?
Khalistan movement has been very active in Canada. As you know, Canada has the most Sikh population after Punjab in Canada. There's demands, it has its ups and downs. There's not too many people, but certain people who are demanding that they want Khalistan. Use the word demanding because it's been going on for such a long time. They think it's a right to get it, and they're fighting for it, which is fine.
But 1.7% population in India around and 2% in Canada. This demand for a Khalistan in Canada, does it have any grounds? Does it actually make sense, Amritpalji?
I moved here in 1986. If you talk about the grounds, no, not really. There's only a handful of people who want Khalistan and they're fighting for the cause, and they do try their tactics, and they've been trying it ever since I have noticed them.
My question is also that there are largely two provinces, that is Vancouver and that is British Columbia, and of course Toronto, which is in Ontario. So these are the two large provinces. So that's where largely a lot of these activities are. Now I wanted to understand, will these two provinces actually separate some land and give it to Khalistan? Will there be any demand there? Are they actually...
And the answer is yes and no. Let me correct you. Vancouver is not a province or a state. It is a city. And the city is based in British Columbia.
British Columbia is a province, yes.
Toronto is located in Ontario. Now, British Columbia has some historic value. The first Sikh or first Indians arrived in 1890 out here. And then my family's been here since 1908. They went through all the ups and downs and everything. It used to be one of the most populous province with the Sikh people. Now Ontario is superseding us because there's more opportunities out in Toronto, being close to the Eastern America. Now, going back, yes, all this occurred in 1984 when the Indian Army invaded or attacked the Akal Takht, which other general people know it as the Harmandir Sahib, the Golden Temple. Ever since, there are some disgruntled people who really want to make this issue into Khalistan. It's been going on since then, since 1984. There is Khalsa Diwan Society Gurdwara in Vancouver, which was taken over by them. And in 1984, or around that era, you might remember, a ship full of Indian refugees came over to Halifax, which is on the eastern side of Canada, on the Atlantic side, with full of Sikh refugees. Sikh passengers, I would say. Later on, they become refugees in India. Refugees in Canada. And after that, they got citizenship here. They got the permanent residency. Now their descendants, they all are fighting for that cause. And this is where it started from. At that point, this Gurdwara was totally taken over by Khalistani. But if you go into all the other the news articles and see that there was a change around 1990s, people didn't want that to happen here in Vancouver. So they changed the administration and got so-called moderates in there. And then in 1988, there were some issues between the moderates and Khalistani, aka fundamentalists. And it all started off with either you're going to have langar while sitting on the floor or on tables and chairs. And that was a big issue that divided the whole community into two, moderates and fundamentalists. Fundamentalists moved into a warehouse turned into a gurdwara called Dashmesh Darbar. And they to this date are been fighting for the cause for Khalistan, and they openly do that. They never had these issues that we're having right now. This all happened afterwards when that's a private gurdwara, and they have private membership. Then we have a public gurdwara in Surrey, which is in the suburbs of Vancouver. And that was taken over by the fundamentalists. Things went okay for the first 10 years. Now, all of a sudden, that Gurdwara is turned into a Khalistani Gurdwara. And it is more active in Khalistan activities than the Dashmesh Darbar Gurdwara, which was created, which was formed for the Khalistan purpose. So now the community is confused as to what is going on here.